I know the isekai genre gets a lot of hate, and I get why. We've been inundated with crappy isekai series that are basically nothing more than 12-episode ads for light novels. Which is fine from a business standpoint, but the problem is so many of them feel like the exact same thing. Main character gets hit by a truck or dies somehow and goes to a fantasy world, winds up with fantastic powers, gets all the girls, and saves the world. Or just does whatever they want. This is the plot from Mushoku Tensei, Konosuba, Eminence in Shadow, Ascendance of a Bookworm, or Serie Gensosuke Spirit Chronicles. Or maybe they fall asleep at their computer and wind up inside of the video game they were playing, like in How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, Overlord, or Next Falls Reborn as a Space Mercenary. Or perhaps they were summoned, like in The Saint's Magic Power is Omnipotent, The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, or Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy. Maybe they were reading a book like in Shield Hero or Fushigi Yugi. Though, to be fair, a good book can transport you to a different world if you let it. After all, the tattooed, mangled corpses of trees are frickin' magical. Anyway, there are tons of examples of isekai where the main character goes off on an adventure. They gain power, they use it to fight monsters. This is a fun fantasy, and there is nothing wrong with that. But there's something to be said about the cozy isekai. Yes, the main character who died and winds up in another world is still overpowered, but instead of using his or her power to destroy monsters, they build a farm. Or open a drugstore. Or maybe they invite people from another world to their restaurant. Or they work a little bit every day, just killing a few slimes, but spend most of their days enjoying the slow life. Now, in some anime, the main character has a goal of living a quiet life, but things keep getting in their way. That Time I Reincarnated as a Slime or the aforementioned Tsukimichi are both great series that I enjoy, but the main characters keep attracting trouble, so they don't get to have the quiet life they want. At least, not quite yet. Of course, the main series I wanted to talk about was Farming Life in Another World, but there are a couple of others I wanted to bring up as well. Now, I've already done a video on this series, but since Season 2 just finished airing, I figured it was a good time to revisit it and try to explain the appeal. You have a guy who dies, and when God asks him what kind of life he'd like in the next world, he just says he wants to be a farmer. So, God grants him a magical farming tool that will transform into whatever he wants, ensures he has a healthy and strong body, and drops him off in the middle of the forest of death. Now, there's something about this man's aura that draws intelligent monsters to him. Races that are strong in magic can sense there's something to this man. Maybe it's the divine touch from the creator god, maybe it's something else. Less powerful races, untrained and young demons, humans, even centaurs, are unable to sense this aura, but they take note when the more powerful races all defer to him. So, you have a man leading multiple villages, thriving in one of the most inhospitable parts of the world, the Forest of Death. He is treated as an equal to demon lords and dragon kings. The founder of the vampire race, a man so old he has to wipe his own memories every few centuries to avoid going crazy, treats him as an equal. Angels treat him as their boss. And what does he do with his power? He grows food, cooks food, and protects his village from monsters. This is isekai as Tolkien intended. The theme of Lord of the Rings can be summed up in a quote. If more of us valued food and cheer and song above hoarded gold, it would be a merrier world. And that is exactly what this anime is like. The mayor provides a safe haven where people can enjoy food, cheer, and song. His biggest concerns are making sure there is enough food for the winter and enough booze to go around. In fact, the biggest threat the village faces is when one of the slimes evolves into a wine slime after drinking enough alcohol to evolve into a new species. That poor slime becomes the archenemy of everyone in the village, at least for a little bit. Now, something I wanted to discuss real quick. Spoiler warning for those who choose to read the light novel or the manga. Go ahead and skip to the timestamp if you want to avoid spoilers. Okay, here we go. The mayor has multiple wives. The anime showed this a little bit in the first season, but backed off of the harem plot in the second season. The Sun Castle, which is the last arc of the second season, showed up because there was a gathering of dragons detected. This was the reason given in the anime as well. Of course, a gathering of dragons would be the scariest thing possible for any species in the world, and to defend against it, the Sun Castle showed up to put a stop to it. The reason the dragons gathered was different in the light novels from what was shown in the anime. In the light novels, the gathered dragons were celebrating the birth of the mayor's and Haruken's child. Haruken found out she was pregnant when one day she couldn't transform. Apparently, this is common with dragons, because the reproductive organs of an egg-laying, fire-breathing lizard are so different compared to those of a human that when a dragon is pregnant, she is unable to change her form. Regardless of which form she was in when she got pregnant, that's the form she's stuck with until she gives birth. The thing is, the baby with Haruken is his 11th child. The anime shows the birth of Alfred, his first son with Rue, but it skips over the next 10. We never get to see his kid with Tia, the leader of the Angels, or the kids he has with Anne, Rhea, or any of the other girls. We did get to see in this season where the mayor begs to have more men in the village, but almost all the men who come to visit the village are married or way too young to have kids. We did get to see the bedroom set aside for child making. Yeah, it was the one with the bar on the outside. The women want to ensure their bloodline is strong. And you've got to have a strong father in order to have strong babies. Now, even with all of this, this series is wholesome. The fact that the mayor has 26 wives is presented as a joke, rather than something to be taken seriously. And the girls have worked out a system where they're not all dogpiling the mayor every night. Only a few at a time. But Farming Life in Another World isn't the only quiet life series where the main character is powerful. We have a new one airing this season where the main character is a himbo. He's a bit of an idiot, but he's a good man. In fact, Dias of the Blue is the best of men. And yes, I know this one isn't an isekai, but I felt it deserved a mention, specifically because it's airing right now. For those who are unfamiliar, Dias was a war hero who was granted territory as a reward for his service to the king. When he was 15, he became a soldier to help protect civilians. He then fought for 20 years and became a legend. Now he has been given governance over a vast empty plain. It is the frontier, population 0. But through his hard work and honesty, he quickly finds himself allied with the native Oni who call the plain home, and even gets himself a cute wife, though he insists they're just engaged. Even though their culture says it's okay to get married at 15, Dias still thinks of her as a child and won't lay a hand on her. But he does save her when an earth dragon tries to incinerate her. This is what I'm talking about when I say that he's a good man. Dias doesn't hesitate to do everything in his power to protect the innocent or his allies. It's what made him a hero. He is absurdly strong, but also gentle and loving. In fact, he may be too good of a person. His wife, Alna, at least she thinks of herself as his wife, is at her wit's end trying to seduce him, but he will not budge. He's convinced she'll find someone better before she turns 18, because when she does turn 18, Dias dreads running out of excuses. This series is very cute, and I'm so happy it finally got an anime. If you're impatient and want to binge an anime that is already completed, but has an ongoing light novel series all the way up to volume 20 being released in English, you should check out Chillin' in Another World with level 2 super cheat powers. Our main character gets summoned to another world, but the summoning grants him no abilities, so he is discarded by the king. In fact, he's been given cursed items that will summon monsters and then break, destroying the evidence. Unfortunately for the king, Philo, our main character's new name after he adopts a new identity, gains untold power after hitting level 2. And what does he do with it? After accidentally wiping out a demon army, he proceeds to try and live a quiet life. When his farm is surrounded by the idiot hero along with a bunch of soldiers, he teleports the whole farm away, along with his friends and allies. His entire goal is peace. And yes, sometimes he gets a bit violent, but only to people who are interfering with his peace. Also, he gets an adorable wife, and she alone is worth watching the anime. Our last two examples do not have anime adaptations, so rejoice, readers. Though, if you're patient, there's a good chance that either one of these will get an anime adaptation. We'll start with Let's Buy the Land and Cultivate in Another World. Itanami Norio, our MC, is summoned to another world to be a hero to fight against the demons. On his way there, he is stopped by one of the gods, Hephaestus. Yes, that Hephaestus, the god of crafting. He warns Intonami that not all is as it seems and gives him a secret blessing, the blessing of mastery. But the blessing is hidden, so when the king's mages go to do his testing, nothing comes up. Intonami suggests he be given some land that he can cultivate, and the king agrees. Anything to get this useless guy out of here, after all. So how does this blessing actually work? Whatever item Intonami holds, he is the undisputed master of. A wooden hand drill for starting a fire? He sparks so hard he starts a bonfire. A backhoe? His crop is as delicious as the food grown by the mayor in Farming Life in Another World. Fishing? Think of the absolute best thing you could fish up. That's right, a mermaid. And not just any mermaid, a mermaid princess. One who, by mermaid tradition, is now his wife. Eventually, he becomes friends with the undead king who lives in the dungeon up the road and invites the demon lord over for dinner, and even settles disputes with the gods. All in all, a very cute and lighthearted series. Finally, one of my favorite isekai is another series where the main character just wants to live peacefully. The title? Now I'm a demon lord happily ever after with the monster girls in my dungeon. As per the standard, our main character gets truck-cooned into another world, but this time, he's a demon lord. A demon lord with a core and a dungeon. Imagine a video game where you're the master of a dungeon. You gain XP by having invaders come into your dungeon and defeating them. You can spend that XP doing upgrades or summoning monsters to serve you. You can create traps or all sorts of nasty surprises for the foolish adventurers who dare to enter your domain. Yuki, our aforementioned demon lord, spends his first day fiddling with his menu, trying to make sense of everything that's happened. The next day, he goes outside to see the world, and encounters the Supreme Dragon. Hephaestus is wondering why a demon lord was dumb enough to enter her domain, so she flew over to find out why a new one appeared. Oh, and when I say Supreme Dragon, I mean she's the most powerful being on the planet. Let me put it this way. I've read a good chunk of the web novel, up to the middle of volume 9 of the light novel, give or take, and Yuki still isn't strong enough to see her status screen. Anyway, when they first meet and Yuki's about to be obliterated, he notices the faint scent of honey on the dragon's breath. Realizing he may have a way out, he summons a chocolate bar and gives it to Hephaestus. He then tells her that he's the only person in the world who can make this, and she better let him live if she wants more. Hephaestus transforms into a humanoid shape and invades his dungeon. And when I say he invades, I mean she just camps out in his throne room. Remember what I said earlier about gaining points for your dungeon when people invade it? Those points are determined by how powerful the invader is. So now Yuki has an obscene amount of points to play with. So he starts getting creative. Eventually, more people join him in that dungeon and life is good. Sure, they have their problems every now and then, can't have a story without tension after all, but at the end of the day, Yuki's goal is to live a quiet, fun life with the girls in his dungeon. Also, good news, the first 2 light novels have audiobook adaptations. I'll post a link down below if you want to give them a listen. Or, if you're like me, you can read the books themselves. Book 16 is already out, so you've got a lot to enjoy. What about you? What's your favorite isekai where the main character just wants to relax and have a good time? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cutestuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. There are several tiers to choose from. You can pick an anime or manga for me to do a video about, or you can join our monthly manga club. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Marcus, Brett, Roxy, Alex, Robert, Pi, Kazaris, Patrick, Boomy, Oscar, Justin, Sleech, Luke, Mr. Salty, Daniel, Bryan, and Rwaka, Telethia, Azander, Michael, Black Dragon, and John. You guys are awesome. I post anime or manga videos often, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Musings by Danon.